This man was trained by Liu Kang himself. This man has a rising heel, a flying punch, a fireball, and not to mention the man can fight while performing a handstand. You heard me right, a mother handstand. That's basically Liu Kang dripping swag goo with tiger tattoos, ripping them in half and giving their mother bad news.
Excuse me?
And I ain't even mentioned that he move his body like a psycho. And then he wanna do it all night long. And he move his body like psycho. Tiger stripes on my body like real. Shorty got kicks, shorty got flash. Hand me a stick, I'ma kick your ass. What?
Well, I
Stop.
thought it was
Hello and welcome all my fellow combatants in Lin Kuei. I am Kuei Shin Yun Wang, otherwise known as the Third Sub-Zero. Today's video will be focused on a certain Shaolin monk, the African-American Liu Kang, Kai. Now I'll be tackling both lore and gameplay today, and I hope to share all things Kai with you in the Mortal Kombat universe. Now there's basically 5 parts to today's video. The first part I'll be talking about Kai's appearance in Mortal Kombat 4. The second part will be Kai's appearance in a comic book, and the third part will be basically just Easter egg appearances that Kai has had across Mortal Kombat media. The fourth part will be Kai's appearance in Mortal Kombat 7, aka Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and the last part will just be my closing thoughts and opinions on Kai, whether he should return, and what I think of his overall gameplay, lore, and potential as a character in the future of Mortal Kombat. As this is my first video on the channel, I do appreciate any and all engagement, but to all my haters, as my brother Kwai Lang says, as the snow falls, so will you.
Choose your destiny. Sub-Zero.
Kai, the Black Liu Kang. Kai is actually a Scottish word meaning fire, and with most of his special moves being centered around fire-based attacks, it's very befitting. This combatant was first introduced to us in 1997. He made his debut in Mortal Kombat 4, the first Mortal Kombat to utilize 3D rendered graphics, and the first Mortal Kombat to shy away from the perhaps archaic digital sprites that we were accustomed to. Interestingly enough, Kai is from my hometown, Detroit, Michigan, so it would probably suffice it to say you probably shouldn't with him. Kai is a former White Lotus member and a Shaolin monk. He was trained by Liu Kang himself. I mean, Kung Lao helped a little bit, but let's face it, it was mostly Liu Kang. Lore-wise, for this guy, there's very little to go off of, and the information that we do have is mainly from his ending in Mortal Kombat 4, and a brief appearance in a comic canonically intertwined with the Mortal Kombat 4 video game, which I will tell you about, but I want to tell you about his gameplay first. Now, to really get a feel for who the character was, I decided that I would revisit the game just like in 1997 when I played it for the very first time at 8 years old. Yes, my parents let me play Mortal Kombat at 8 years old. I don't want to hear it. Now, there is both a Nintendo 64 version and a Sony PlayStation version of the game, but there's also a port to the Sega Dreamcast, which includes Cyrax, Melina, Katana, Kung Lao, and Baraka, in addition to the base roster. So in my opinion, Mortal Kombat 4 for Dreamcast, which is called Mortal Kombat Gold, is the best iteration of the game, thus is the version that we'll be playing today. To begin, I took a look at his special moves. He has 2 fireballs, 1 falling, 1 rising. Let's just say this is the most useless projectile that I've probably ever seen in Mortal Kombat ever. Not only is it slow, but because of the design of the projectile, with it coming from the top and the bottom, the opponent is easily able to sidestep or just walk right out of the path of the projectile. I had this happen to me so much going against the computer that I pretty much just had to stop using it. But for some reason, I still didn't. It's the stubbornness in me. I just couldn't. I had to make it work. He also has a move called Air Fist. This move is also very useless. The only way I was able to make the move have any use at all was as an anti-air. If I was able to predict an opponent jump in, kick, or punch, I could use the Air Fist as an anti-air. Not a very reliable one, but nonetheless an anti-air. And his last special move, we'll put it like this, I saved the best for last. This move is very interesting. If you hold block and low kick at the same time, Kai performs a handstand. He stays in this stance, and you are able to perform a couple of unique attacks. If you press low kick while in the handstand, it says that you're supposed to perform a throw. However, I did this over and over again at different ranges, and never did Kai perform a throw. So that move doesn't actually work as intended, unless I'm seeing something wrong. The latter of the two, the leg cyclone, might be one of the coolest looking moves that I've ever seen, which is probably why Ed Boon said this.
In Mortal Kombat 4, he actually was able to stand on his hands and walk around on his hands, which, you know, I wish we could have had created that for his alternate fighting style in Armageddon, but there really wasn't time to do that.
Gotta love time constraints. Overall, beside the projectile and cheesy AI, no, seriously, this AI was ridiculous. I had to put it on easy because on medium, the AI was ruthless. But I was finally able to cheese my way to victory.
Why you not block it? Why you not block it? All you gotta do is block. All you gotta do is block it. All you gotta do is block it. Why you not block it? All you gotta do is block it.
And I was there at the final battle against the fallen elder god, Shinnok. Surely he would prove to be a I'm just gonna do this. And I know he did some really bad stuff, but nobody deserves to die like this. Nonetheless, when Kai defeats the bad guy, we are treated to a brief cinematic where we see an interaction between Kai and Raiden. Raiden tells Kai that he has now earned the title of Shaolin Warrior, to which Kai replies that he's actually not interested.
Thanks, not interested, sorry.
He says that he'd rather roam the earth and find his soul, that sort of thing. You know, that sort of thing. Raiden then offers Kai his lightning staff and tells him that with it, he will be able to find immortality. To which Kai says, "Thank you, Raiden. I will not fail. You go get him, Tiger." We also get a tidbit of lore in the 1998 Midway comic book, Mortal Kombat 4 Limited Edition. We initially see Kai under the tutelage of Liu Kang, and boy is he kicking his ass. The soon-to-be fire god tells Kai that there's more to martial arts than just fighting, and that he must become one with his spirit, and only then would he be able to channel his true power and inner strength. And Kai's all, "Easy for you to say, you're the immortal champion of Mortal Kombat." They are then interrupted by a couple of Shaolin monks that tell them that Liu Kang's grandfather requests their presence. Unfortunately, before they can heed the request, something falls out the sky, to which they have to go investigate, of course. This is where we see Fujin being attacked by some ghoulish looking beings. So of course, our hero and Liu Kang jump in and shut up. No, really, in actuality, they're at one point surrounded by these ghoulish beings. Raiden comes in and does his crackle thing. He then informs them that Adenia is under attack and that they must aid in the resistance. They then team up with Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, and Sub-Zero and work together to create a portal, instantaneously teleporting them to Adenia. But to their surprise, they are confronted by the sorcerer, Quan Chi. And roll credits. No, it was the end of the comic. Turn the music off. Turn it off!
I'm sorry.
Cut the music off! You listen. Good.
I listen.
I want music.
Totally understand.
No, that was the end. But the continuation is the Mortal Kombat 4 video game. But with each character having their own ending, we don't really know the canon continuation. The next time we hear anything from Kai, aside from the concept art in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, is a cameo that if you blinked, you'd miss it in Mortal Kombat Deception's Conquest mode. We find Kai secluded somewhere in a cave in the outskirts of Outworld. He presents us with the very thing that was gifted to him by Raiden in the Mortal Kombat 4 ending, stating that it may help Kung Lao in rebuilding the White Lotus. Now, spoiler alert, we never actually give the staff to Kung Lao, but it's a cool little cameo nonetheless. His next appearance was in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. This was the 7th installment to the Mortal Kombat franchise, and it was quite unique in that it would include each and every Mortal Kombat character ever created in the franchise's history. Another thing that makes this game quite unique is that it is the only Mortal Kombat to utilize air combat. You are able to execute and extend combos while airborne. This mechanic seems to really complement Kai's fighting style. It makes the character feel more fluid and natural, so much so that I think that in future titles, if they were to bring Kai back. Even if air combat was not a mechanic included in the game, I think it should be something included in his fighting style, along with his handstand, which unfortunately, as Ed Boon said, it did not make it into Mortal Kombat Armageddon. So once again, to kick things off, I took a look at his special moves. And just as before, he has 2 fireballs, one falling, one rising. The difference with these projectiles is that they do seem slightly faster. Therefore, they seem to have more utility. And furthermore, his downward fire blast actually acts as a pop-up, giving you the ability to juggle opponents in the air with flashy combos. He also has 2 new special kick attacks. The first being called the Renegade Kick. This kick is actually more of a push, knocking the opponent down to about the range at where you start a round. Now, because of the slow startup time, I wasn't able to find this move very useful, but his rising heel I was able to use very effectively, because not only does it have a better startup time, but it also acts as a pop-up as well. Therefore, you are once again able to execute flashy airborne combos. Now, there's one other thing that I failed to mention in the Mortal Kombat 4 section of this video, and that is Kai's weapon of choice. Now, in Mortal Kombat 4, it was what's called a Gurkha knife. I don't know much about this other than it is a knife, and it is called a Gurkha. Therefore, it is a Gurkha knife. Gurkha knife. Anyways, in Mortal Kombat 7, Kai must have had a change of heart because he now holds a spiked club. Now, I do not know much about this, other than that it is a club and it is spiked. It is a spiked club. But overall, in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Kai feels a lot better. Honestly, it could just be the polish of Mortal Kombat Armageddon versus Mortal Kombat 4, but regardless, the experience that I had playing him in Mortal Kombat 7 was just fun. I just had a great time. Now, with that being said, when I got to Moloch and Blaze, boy, were they kicking my ass. Let's just say this, the power level difference was vast. I'd say it would take about 5 to 6 of my hits to equal just 1 of theirs. So it was an uphill battle from the beginning. But through sweat, tears, and perseverance, I was able to snatch defeat from the jaws of the... Wait, I think I said that wrong. You get my point? And boom went the dynamite.
Kai wins.
After defeating Blaze, we get our last bit of lore that Mortal Kombat would offer us on Kai. Albeit slightly confusing, this is what's said. The power of Blaze opened Kai's mind, psychically linking him with the One Being. Kai was then able to see the One Being's dreams, from which all reality is created from. In deep meditation, Kai then witnesses many things happening in all the realms. The rise of Shao Kahn, his eventual demise, the return of the Dragon King, and of course the final battle at the pyramid. However, after this point, when Kai looks to the future, he sees nothing. Now that's just a terrible ending. It says nothing, it does nothing, it doesn't mean anything. And unfortunately, this is the last time that we hear or see anything from Kai in any Mortal Kombat media. I feel that with Kai being a Shaolin monk, and more importantly, a student of Liu Kang's, he has more than enough potential to play a significant role in the upcoming title, Mortal Kombat 12. I could see him having a side role, something like a Takeda or a Kung Jin in MKX. And don't forget, with Liu Kang playing the role of Raiden as Fire God, there's room for an actual Liu Kang character, which could be Kai. I almost could see this character as an Eddie Gordo of Mortal Kombat. He would have very flashy movement, able to do the handstand, and then maybe only him having the ability to juggle opponents in the air. I think it'd be a cool little touch. But what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about Kai? Should the character return? Should he be one and done? Well, not one and done because he was in MK7 and MK4, but should they bring him back? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you found the video interesting, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, as there will be plenty of more Mortal Kombat content to follow. Please turn on the notifications so you don't miss when I drop those videos. But that is my time. I did my thing. It's the third Sub-Zero question, Young Wayne. Honestly, forget what he talking about. I'm just glad that y'all watched to the end, all right? And yes, this is a jetpack, and no, I cannot stick around. Got a Cairo blast! See you in the next one, sucker! Oh, mommy! Put that there! Oh,